Here's a strategy for multiplying problems. It's called lattice multiplication. You might be familiar with the traditional approach. If we were working with this 2, that 2 is worth 20. That's why we replace the 0. And then we go 2 times 7, which is 14. 4, regroup the 1. 2 times 3, which is 6, plus 1, which is 7. We add those together to get our answer to our multiplication problem. Now with lattice multiplication, what we do is that we break these numbers back down into their parts. So 37 breaks down into a 3 there, and we write a 7 right there. And then we've got 26, where it is that we have a 2 there, and then we have a 6 right there. And then we create a lattice. I've started that process of creating a lattice there. And there's one last thing that we have to do. We have to go ahead and draw along the diagonals here to complete our lattice. Our next step for lattice multiplication is to go ahead and work with each of these numbers. We've got this 7 right here, we've got the 2 right here, and we're just going to go ahead and multiply them together and put our answer right here within our spot right here. The other thing that we'll do, if we look at this next one, 3 times the 2, 3 times the 2 is 6. When we write 6, if there's just a single digit, we'll put a 0 in front of it, and then we'll write a 6. Right here is where the product is going to be of 3 and 6. Notice how those come together right there. 3 times 6 is 18, so we'll go ahead and write a 1 in there and a 8. And finally, for that last one, we have 7 times 6, which is 42. Now to complete our lattice multiplication strategy right here, what we're going to do is we're going to add along the diagonals. And so if you see this diagonal right here, we're adding along those diagonals. And then so we have 2 for that first one there. For this next diagonal, we have 4, 4, and 8. And we're adding along those diagonals. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 8 is 16. So we'll place a 6 right here. Only one number can go in there at a time. And then we'll regroup that 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 6 is 8, plus 1 is 9. And right here, 0. Oh, we don't write a 0 there. And as you see right here, we have our answer, 962. Just like before, 962. So this right here is what we call lattice multiplication. Lattice multiplication works for larger numbers as well. We set it up much the same way, where we break down that 623, 6, 2, 3, we break down the 24, 2, 4, and our lattice will just be a little bit bigger and a little bit larger. I'll pause the video while I continue to set this problem up. As you see, I'm at this step right here, and then we'll go ahead and draw our diagonals. There we go. And we're ready to go ahead and find each of those products. So again, if we start here with the 6 times the 2 in the upper left-hand corner here, 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 2, that's 4. And remember, when we're writing a single-digit number, we need to put that 0 in front of it. 3 times 2 is 6, so we're going to go ahead and put a 0 and then a 6 there. We'll start on our next line right here, where we start with 6 times 4, which is 24. Be very careful writing those numbers out. 2 times 4 is 8. And finally, 3 times 4, which is 12. And again, what we do with lattice multiplication, we add along the diagonals. So we've got 2 here. In our tens place, we've got 6 plus 1 plus 8. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 8 is 15, so I'll place a 5 and regroup the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 4 more is 9. Two and 2 is 4. And we've got the 1 right there. Oops, I accidentally moved our lattice. And then so our answer is 14,952. 14,952. One of the common problems for students when they're learning this process and learning this strategy is they don't remember to add along the diagonals. They might miss their regroups, or they might even add in part of their original problem, the 623, as they're adding along those diagonals, or they're trying to add along those diagonals. And then so this is just another strategy and approach that you could use. It's time for you to try. 38 times 26 equals. Your turn. Go ahead and set it up. And then hit pause as you solve what it is that you need to solve. As you're still learning right here, if you have the video running, I'm going to continue to set this up. And does yours look like that there? Where our answer is going to be right along here. What numbers did you end up putting within this lattice to help you solve it? Did you remember to write the 0 in front of the 6 there? 8 times 2 is 16. 3 times 6 is 18. 8 times 6 is 48. Check your numbers within your lattice grid. Remember, we add along the diagonals. Did you add correctly there? 8. 6 and 4 is 10. Plus 8 is 18. 8. Regroup the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Plus 6 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. And we had a 0 right here. I guess I could put the 0. But when I write out my answer over here, my answer is 988. And when I'm writing out 988, I would definitely not put that 0. So 38 times 26 is 988. And that's lattice multiplication for you.